Good evening. This is Chevy Chaser with Hash News, and this evening I'm going to talk to you about stimulus packages. No, I'm not going to whip my dick out, though maybe Saturday if you keep watching. Nope, we're talking about the congressional stimulus package, the one that's $2 trillion and it's supposed to save our fucking economy before everything collapses all to shit. So, probably many of you people are asking like, holy shit, $2 trillion? A, that's a really large number so I can't imagine it, and B, what's in there? Well, first of all, to give you kind of idea what $2 trillion is, during the whole of the Great Recession, we spent about $4.5 trillion to save the economy over a 4-year period. This is a $2 trillion stimulus package that's supposed to last about 10 to 12 weeks. So yeah, if you didn't really get an idea that with the current economic situation being shut down, we're all fucked, this should kind of give you an idea. $2 trillion for 10 to 12 weeks of life. Wow. All right, so what's in this $2 trillion? I've been drinking, see? Happy beer. Anyways, what's in this $2 trillion bill? First, we have $130 billion in hospital loans. Guess what? Hospitals depend upon elective surgery to really keep the lights on. You'd think all those things they do for Medicare and Medicaid pay, but guess what? They don't. Not enough to really keep hospitals going because running a hospital is fucking expensive. So what usually pays? We're talking about things such as knee surgeries or tit jobs or just going in because your wrist is making a weird creaking noise. Maybe getting an MRI test that you don't really need. All this stuff has gone away because hospitals have said we're not going to do elective procedures anymore until the coronavirus is out of the way because we're freaking the fuck out. Unfortunately, that means they don't have any money, so basically we're going to give them $130 billion to keep hospitals open, which seems kind of important right now. All right, what else do we got? Well, we got $150 billion for local and state governments. Guess what? Local and state governments are not good about saving money. They're good about providing public goods to us, the people. They don't have money, things like this happen, they run out of money. So what do? Well, A, we can just like say, oh, we just don't need police and firefighters for the next year. You know, the anarchists and libertarians will be pretty happy with that. Or we get a bailout from the federal government. $150 billion in bailouts. Awesome. All right, what else is happening? Well, there's $200 billion going into expanded unemployment. What's that mean? Basically, they're going to, for the next 4 months, give you all your money, all the money from your former paycheck and unemployment as opposed to a percentage of it. Unless you like make over $80,000, in which case go fuck yourself, you should have saved money, you stupid bastard. They're also going to expand unemployment to cover contract workers, which normally don't collect unemployment because they're independent contractors. They're like a small business unto themselves. So when you watch the TV and worry about those poor strippers who are signed up out of work, don't worry. They can now collect unemployment once this bill passes. All right, what else is in there? Well, we have $370 billion in small business loans. Basically, these are loans designed to help small businesses survive what's going on right now and keep people on their payrolls. Guess what? The more people the small businesses keep on their payrolls, the fewer people try to go get expanded unemployment, saves money altogether. It's kind of a win-win, plus those businesses get the state open and hopefully survive to see another day. Because if there's one thing that might happen if this goes on too long, is a lot of the small businesses we all love and care for are going to be gone. All right, what else? Well, they have $500 billion that's going to go towards giving every American a $1,200 check and every child a $500 check. This is what's called a short-term stimulus, or it's basically a good one hard pump to try to get the economy going again. Well, what's the problem with this? Well, for anybody who's ever had sex, one good hard pump is nice, but imagine if that's it. And that's basically what's happening here. We're going to give you $1,200 and then you're not going to get anything else. We're basically trying to get you to spend more money, but here's the problem. In this time of need, $1,200 is A, not a lot of money. That doesn't cover most people's mortgages. And B, where the fuck are we going to spend it? Most things that are interesting are closed, especially that are local businesses. And C, does it really fucking matter because we're also worried about their jobs, that we're just going to put this $1,200 in savings and hopefully wait it out? Basically, we're throwing money away to make ourselves feel better in this case. That's my personal opinion. You can look up things and other people will give you other opinions, but I really don't give a fuck about those other opinions. All right, and what are we doing in this last part? Well, there's also $500 billion in business loans for businesses of all sizes. This is where they're talking about, if you're reading the right newspapers, they're calling it corporate bailouts, and if you're reading other newspapers, they're calling it the most necessary part of the bill. It's a simple idea. Large corporations fund a lot of our economy. They employ about 50% of us, make up about 2/3 of the GDP we produce, amongst other things. As well, most of the small businesses that we think of and love are all supported by large businesses, whether it's through groups that they buy products from or groups that they use for marketing or everything else. There's this whole, you can't really pull the economy apart, it's one big chunk. And this is the part that's having the big contention about everything, to the point where things aren't really going to get passed very fast, and why this is where the slowdown is. The problem basically started because Republicans said, well, this $500 billion, we'll just totally trust Donald Trump and his administration to spend that wisely, because they seem like trustworthy people who have never done anything corrupt in their lives. As a result, the Democrats said, wait a minute, that's really fucked up. Fuck you, we're not doing that. And so they voted no on a very stupid procedural vote that basically was their way of saying, like that. However, as a result, the Republicans said, fine, that makes sense. We'll create this independent group that's not part of this federal government, that has oversight to make sure this money gets spent responsibly. Because that actually was a problem during the Great Recession, where some of the stimulus money we gave basically went into fraud things. Because when you're trying to hand out billions of dollars in a short amount of time, that's just how life works. Unfortunately, the Democrats kind of got a little high on their horse with this victory. In fact, you could say they probably got themselves a very crudely drawn hard-on. And as a result, they're starting to demand all sorts of stupid things. Not so much in the Senate, but more out in the House. The Democrats in the House, led by Nancy Pelosi, have written their own bill, which mostly knocks all these figures up until it's a $2.5 trillion bill. I mean, who wants to really worry about another 20% added on at this point? But they're also starting to argue for weird things. For instance, they're saying they want caveats that everyone who has this bill has to pay their employees a $15 minimum wage. Or any corporation that wants some of this money has to agree to some stringent climate agreement stuff. Now, I'm not saying these are bad things. However, perhaps in the moment when your house is on fire, sitting there and quibbling about that time your mother called your wife a bitch is not the right time to do it. Yes, that's something you should discuss to save your marriage, but it's really not something you should be talking about in a burning house. Just saying. What's going to happen with this stimulus bill? Well, it's going to pass, because basically neither one of these parties can be the people who sat there and let it die, and basically let the economy die. The question is, who's going to blink first on these things? Is it going to be the Republicans or the Democrats? Who knows? And I'm sure everyone here has very strong opinions one way or the other. Either way, there you go. There's what's in your stimulus package. Have a great night.